What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla stock and talk about earnings. I want to show you guys the reaction that Tesla typically gets after earnings come out, what is expected for the next earnings report, and what you should be watching for as time goes on. But let me just mention that I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total. And the offer ends once again in just about 12 days from now. Anyways, for Tesla, I want to show you guys something very, very interesting. I marked all of Tesla's last 4 or 5 earnings just to show you guys how it ended up reacting. I want to show you guys something very, very important. So, as you guys already probably know, Tesla has earnings coming out very, very soon. Earnings are going to be after the market closes on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, July 23rd. This is very, very important because whatever Tesla announces is going to have a big effect on its future, the way investors kind of look at it, and to what extent investors try to either buy or sell Tesla shares. Now, I have some data I want to show you. As of recent, a lot of Tesla's overall changes have been very negative for the last couple of earnings reports. The last out of the last four, three of them were actually more negative reactions that Tesla got. But a lot of this has to do with the fact that their expectations weren't as strong because of what happened with high interest rates. And now that the Fed is in a position where they're going to be cutting soon, things could actually change. Now, I don't know when the Fed is going to cut it, maybe towards the end of this year, but this depends on many different factors. So basically, the July earnings had a negative reaction for Tesla. October had a negative reaction of 2023. January 2024 had a negative reaction, and it wasn't until April of 2023 where Tesla got a more positive reaction because it already dumped so much earlier during the year that it ended up getting a more positive reaction thanks to Elon Musk pumping robots and AI. So, what do I see for the share price? Let me show you guys this one more time. I marked all the earnings dates. Let me show you this real quick. Tesla also did not have strong earnings. They actually missed on EPS for the first three of these earnings. So you guys can see right here. Let me just show you this right over here. Tesla, wasn't doing as strongly because of the fact of their high interest rates, and Tesla tends to have, very, very negative reactions to that. We tend to be very sensitive to high interest rates. That's one big factor. Not to mention the fact that, during the many earnings reports, Musk was being very realistic about the hardships that Tesla was going through. And with them being very real, it did lead to quite a bit of downside. But one could argue that Tesla already dumped so much and it's ready to see a big bounce. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. Anyways, going back to around July 19th, okay, let me just double check all these dates for you guys just to be safe. July 19th, Tesla has had its earnings, and we actually got a 10% down day after that. This was because of the fact that earnings ended up missing some metrics and guidance was not very strong. And the same thing was basically what happened many, many times. October 18th was the next time Tesla had its earnings of 2023. A very, very negative reaction. Look at how it gapped down right here. So look at where the blue line is. This is where Tesla closed the previous day, and then earnings was announced after the market closed. And then the next morning, Tesla opened all the way down here at 226. So you guys can see for October, Tesla was at 242 a share and ended up going all the way down to 220. So we got a very, very negative reaction back in October. And then going into January of this year, okay, when January's earnings came out, Tesla started off at 207 a share, and we went all the way down with a big rug pull, all the way down to about the 180s. So we got a very, very big negative reaction during the January earnings report, and that's for Q4 of 2023. And then we got the Q1 reports, which came out in April. And what happened was approaching this earnings, okay, approaching the big earnings reports, Tesla dumped like crazy. Tesla was in the 200s. This year started off on a very, very low notes for Tesla. We started off January going up to about 205, only to collapse and just continue to fall because of all these negative factors. There was all this bad news coming out for Tesla. I'm sure you guys remember that earlier during the year. And Tesla dumped all the way down to 140 a share. That was the low of the year. That's when Tesla collapsed. People were panicking. They thought Tesla was going to crash. And then Elon Musk came out, okay? Earnings weren't that strong for Tesla. All right, I'm going to be 100% honest. But there's a big but. AI ended up taking control. Elon Musk started hyping robotics for Tesla, the Optimus robot, Tesla's future valuation being huge. And we started to see a lot of optimism that really helped the share price actually push to the upwards direction into the 160s. And since that earnings, Tesla has been consolidating. It's been actually on a nice uptrend. It was consolidating for a couple of months before it got ready for this big move, approaching the big deliveries data. And now we're right over here. So what's happening is right now, approaching earnings. This blue line is when we're going to be announcing earnings again on Tuesday. Tesla's looking a little bearish approaching this, but I'm kind of indecisive about what the move is going to be. So one thing worth noting is that production numbers are looking pretty good for Tesla. They also beat on deliveries expectations at 443,956. So that's very, very good news for them. Not to mention the fact that they deployed 9.4 gigawatt hours of energy. So this is more positive. This could actually give us the potential to actually beat on EPS and such. So that makes me a little bit more optimistic. But what concerns me is the fact that Tesla is going to be most likely making some announcements about the robo-taxi event. I'm pretty sure Musk is going to mention that. And I do have some optimism that Musk is going to hype AI again, which could actually cause the share price to explode. So we'll see, guys. I mean, there's so many like different ways that this could go. It really depends on those different factors. This is what inventory levels are looking like so far. You guys can see how they kind of went up a little bit. This is because production has been pretty strong for Tesla, especially for the Model Y. So we'll see what else they end up announcing. Also, we're going to be learning more about their ratings and such. You guys can see right over here, EPS was actually a beat back in Q2 of 2023. Then they missed 3 times in a row. So they've been missing on EPS. We're going to be watching to see how it ends up looking during the latest reports. But even if they miss, Elon Musk could still hype things up with AI, so it doesn't guarantee anything. And then you also have to look at different analysts that are still kind of projecting things for Tesla. Right now, most analysts are giving Tesla either a buy or hold rating, and almost none of them are saying to sell. That is once again a good sign. I agree with that. Tesla's still a great, long-term hold. Um, Again, Q2 earnings are expected to decline according to Yahoo Finance. We're actually looking at how things are going to be changing right over here. Zacks has a consensus estimate of about an EPS of about 62 cents per share during the upcoming report, which is a decline of about 31.9%. And then for revenue, they're expecting it to also increase. So that's what I would anticipate as well. I have similar views as well, but I'll talk more about that later on. But that's what we're expecting, at least thus far. So the last thing I want to mention is that with all this talk about AI, all these different things that could affect Tesla, this is going to be very, very important as well, especially when you look at their financial metrics and what their margins look like. So that's going to be very important. We'll see what Tesla says about their margins, their energy generation, and such. That's going to be a huge factor. But here's one of the biggest factors, and I think it's going to be AI and the robotaxi. So let's just say Tesla doesn't do well. Their EPS is just so, revenue is okay. Even if that happens, if Elon Musk comes out and he starts hyping AI again, there's always the possibility this thing could still run upwards. And we could still try to break it past the 260s all over again. It's still possible. I would not rule that out. But if the opposite happens and Tesla's earnings are lackluster or they're so, and Musk just says a couple of things about AI, but it's not it doesn't really like satisfy investors, that's always a possibility too. It's happened many, many times in the past. That could also lead to some downside. If we do get some downside, I'll be eyeing these gaps down here like towards 209. There's also other ones. I'm not focused on the other ones. I'm just going to focus on these ones right over here. So we'll see, guys. I mean, this could just go so many different routes. It's very hard to predict what we're going to do because it depends on how well Tesla does. I think that there's a good chance that Tesla could actually beat on EPS. I think that they surprised a lot of investors by doing very well with deliveries. So they might do a little bit better than expected, which could cause a positive reaction. However, it also depends on what Musk says about AI and what guidance is looking like for them. That I can't truly predict because it depends on so many different factors. So guidance is going to be key in any big announcements and what they end up saying about the robotaxi event. They might give us a date for the robotaxi event, so we'll see. They're definitely going to be asked a lot of questions about that. So we have to be very, very patient. What I can tell you is this: right now, the share price of Tesla is showing some weakness. Looks a little bearish approaching earnings, but you never know what's about to happen. You always want to be open-minded for anything with this stock and always be optimistic. So when we get lots of dips, when we had those dips to 140, those were the opportunities to start buying. You'd already be almost double. You'd already almost double your money. Not financial investment. I'm just saying like that was the opportunity. For those who missed it, if we do get another dip, I would be grateful because it gives us another opportunity to buy. If not, it is what it is, guys. I mean, you had the chance. We were talking about the chance for a long time. We were calling out this inverse head and shoulders for a long time. So the choice is yours, guys. We'll see how things end up going. I just want to be optimistic nonetheless. One thing that does kind of like catch my attention though would be this technical analysis. So when you look at the way Tesla looks, this could be a symmetrical structure. I mean, I don't know for sure, guys, but this is just a hypothetical view. So look at how Tesla was like up here in the 300 area. Look at this structure. We had this low here, then we had this lower high, Then we had this inverse head and shoulders that looks like this. Look how symmetrical this is kind of looking. It looks just like this. Check this out, guys. And then this is like our right shoulder, and then we came back up like this. So you guys see how this is very symmetrical looking. Are we about to see another retracement that's very similar to this? And then we continue higher, back to 300. Is that what Tesla's about to be doing? Are we about to form some kind of symmetrical structure? Are we about to see, like, let me just fix this one part. Is this going to be our first symmetrical structure like this? And then, you know how we had this dip over here? See how we kind of dip like this? Is that going to be the next symmetrical structure? Um, are we about to see something like that? It's about to form where we get a little retracement back down. That's very similar. And then we just continue higher like this. Could that be what Tesla's about to do? I don't know, guys. I'm just kind of speculating based off patterns. That's one way you can kind of look at things. Are we about to do something like this? Is this what Tesla's about to do? I don't know for sure, but it's always a possibility. I could also look at some key levels based off our Fibonacci retracement charts. I'm trying to keep the technical analysis very simple in this video. I'm not trying to go into full details about stochastics or anything like that. Just to be very frank with everyone, I could use other indicators to show you something. So if I take a very handy Fibonacci retracement tool, start down here from this 140 area. As you can see, Tesla's currently testing its 0.236 retracement. Will we see us come all the way down to like 189 to test the 0.618 area? Are we about to see a little retracement here before we continue higher? That would actually align with this low right here. This is actually very close to where we were. I don't know for sure, guys. It's just something I'm kind of speculating. So we'll see. But overall, and like I said earlier, we'll see if Tesla gets a rug pull or not. If we do get the rug pull, it's okay. I'm excited about it, guys. I would be completely fine with Tesla tipping because it gives us another buying opportunity. If not, if this is a trap and we're just going to continue to squeeze, Tesla could be on its way up to 300 or get very close to that. So you want to be very, very open minded. We'll see what Elon Musk ends up saying. And as far as earnings goes, I typically don't like to put too much money into them. I don't really play them as much. I have bad experiences with them from the past. I could do it, but I would always try to hedge myself and be very, very careful and be very mindful of the fact that there's manipulation associated with earnings. So just be careful, be very, very mindful of what's going to happen. Don't worry too much about what happens on Monday to Tesla. And we'll have to wait and see what happens once we get our very, very big changes to earnings. Whatever Tesla announces, we'll be waiting for guidance and such. All right. So that's it for my analysis. Hopefully, this video was very comprehensive and gives you guys a good understanding of what to expect. EPS and revenue, I think that revenue will be fine. EPS could actually be a beat. It may surprise a lot of people because they ended up doing very well with deliveries. Margins also have been said to possibly improve, but I don't know for sure. I can't make any promises. Can tell you this: there's going to be a massive move coming, and we'll see what Elon Musk says about AI. If he hypes it up again, we'll see. So I'm going to be optimistic and open-minded. During the last 3 of the last 4 earnings led to downside for Tesla, and the technicals do look a little bearish right now. But who knows, guys? We'll just have to wait and see. I'm always, always, always going to be open-minded and try to be as realistic as possible, nonetheless. So that being said, I'll see you guys very soon on the next one for Sunday. Until then, have a great day and peace out.